Hello everyone, and welcome back to Taryn's Bookish Hookie. I am so excited to actually be sharing with you my first book haul. Now, I must actually say that when I started my channel, I was thinking to myself and I was saying that I'm not going to be doing book hauls. I have more than enough books, that I can review, that I've read, that I have still to read. However, that was apparently wishful thinking, because today I don't know if I've mentioned it before, but I am currently in Malaysia, and there is this amazing bookstore in Malaysia that I've been seeing online for a long time, and I have always wanted to go to it. The name is BookXcess, and like the pictures that I saw online just absolutely looked fantastic, right? So I always wanted to go to it, and I had been putting it off, since I've been here. And today I was like, you know what, I actually just have to go, because I will be very angry at myself if I was here the whole time and I didn't go. And am I glad that I went? I must say, so far it's probably one of the most beautiful bookstores that I've been to. And I'm so glad that I went with a colleague, because if I went alone, I would still be there as we speak right now, because I just came back. But I was so impressed and really just wanted to record this before I talk myself out of recording it, and just share with everyone how beautiful that bookstore is. And essentially, my co-worker, he loves books, but not to the extent that I do, that I could literally stay in that bookstore for hours. If it was up to me, I'd still be there. I would still be there, and I would not be making any plans to leave. But I did get hungry, so I was like, you know what, let's wrap it up and let's leave. But anyway, I don't know if you guys know this, but Malaysia is super expensive. Whenever I hear anything about ringgit, their currency, I am already stressed. I am already hyperventilating, because what the hell, man, everything is just so expensive. When you convert ringgit, especially for me, when I convert it to rand, I am almost always having a heart attack about how much I just spent, maybe on a plate of food or something. Anyway, I said to myself, I'm going to spend 100 ringgit on books in that store. And then I managed to spend 78 ringgit, because I bought 4 books, and I didn't even know that there was a 10% discount if you buy 4 books. So only when I got to the cash register and they were ringing up my books did I see that, oh, when you buy 4 books you get 10% discount. So I did, and I ended up spending, because the total would have been around 100 ringgit, and then I only paid 78. Anyway, now for the main event, to get to the books that I bought. I'm going to start with, I was actually able to find 2 books by 2 African authors. So the first one that I found is titled Hold. It is titled Hold. I don't know if you guys can see that. Okay, there we go. Like this it works. Hold, yes, and this is by Michael Donko, right? And the extract at the back of the book says, Belinda knows how to follow the rules. She has learned the right way to polish water glasses, to wash and fold 100 handkerchiefs, and to keep a tight lid on memories of the village she left behind when she came to Kumasi to be a house girl. Mary is still learning the rules. 11 years old and irrepressible, the young house girl in training is the little sister Belinda never had. And then Amma has had enough of the rules. A straight A pupil at her exclusive London school, she has always been the pride of her Ghanaian parents. Until now, Watching their once confident teenager grow sullen and wayward, they decide that sensible Belinda might be just the shining example Amma needs. So Belinda is summoned from Ghana to London to befriend a troubled girl who shows no desire for her friendship. She encounters a city as bewildering as it is exciting and tries to impose order on her unsettling new world. As the Brixton summer turns to autumn, Belinda and Amma are surprised to discover the beginnings of an unexpected kinship. But when the cracks in their defenses open up, the secrets they have both been holding tight to threaten to seep out. Right? So this is Hold. Well, let me actually check something about the author, about Michael Donko. Where is my phone? Okay, so I just checked up on the author Michael Donko, and he is a British author born to Ghanaian parents. So he was born in England and he grew up there, but his parents are Ghanaian, right? So yeah, so this is his book, Hold. So I am very, very, very excited to read this book. I absolutely love the color. Just look how beautiful the person on this cover is. Exceptional. So yep, this is the first book that I bought, and yeah, when I saw this, I just needed to have it. As you guys know, I want my channel to focus on African literature, and even though it is from a British author, he's British Ghanaian, and yeah, this book plays off, by the sounds of it, in Ghana and in the UK. So the first book then is Hold. Then the next book that I got is, it is called An Orchestra of Minorities, a novel, right? An Orchestra of Minorities, a novel, right? So it is by Chigozie Obioma. Chigozie Obioma. I am very sorry to this author, to Mr. Obioma, if I, he's right there, if I'm pronouncing your name wrong, very sorry. So the title definitely is what got me. The title is what got me to buy this book, An Orchestra of Minorities. That sounds amazing to me. And also, when I read the blurb at the back of the book, it's quite a long blurb, if you can see, right? So the blurb says that set on the outskirts of Umuahia, Nigeria, and narrated by Chi, or guardian spirit, An Orchestra of Minority tells the story of Chinonso, a young poultry farmer whose soul is ignited when one night he sees a woman attempting to jump from a highway bridge. Horrified by her recklessness, Chinonso joins her on the roadside and hurls 2 of his prized chickens into the water below to express the severity of such a fall. The woman, Ndali, is stopped in her tracks. Bonded by this incident on the bridge, Chinonso and Ndali fall in love. But Ndali is from a wealthy family and struggles to imagine a future near a chicken coop. When her family objects to the union because Chinonso is uneducated, he sells most of his possessions to attend a college in Cyprus. But when he arrives, he discovers that there is no place at the school for him and that he has been utterly duped by the young Nigerian who made the arrangements. Penniless, homeless, and furious at a world that continues to relegate him to the sidelines, Chinonso gets further away from his dream, from Ndali, and from the farm he called home. Spanning continents, traversing the earth and cosmic spaces, and told by a narrator who has lived for hundreds of years, this novel is a contemporary twist on Homer's Odyssey. Writing in the mythic style of the Igbo literary tradition, Chigozie Obioma weaves a heart-wrenching epic about destiny and determination. That sounds epic. That sounds like, I feel like I need to start reading this book immediately. Like, I really do. Like, I really feel like I need to start reading this book immediately. It sounds like nothing I've ever read before. So, yep, then this book plays out in Nigeria. So, holding with my African theme, but like I've also said on the channel, that for now it's not going to, like, you know, be the only focus, because I'm literally playing catch up. Like, there are so many books and things that I still need to review that I have read before I started the channel back up. Okay, then now here comes the two of my favorite purchases that I made. So ever since, like, I started watching BookTube, I saw my favorite BookTuber of all time, Jet Edwards, and many other BookTubers go to bookstores, and they, like, where bookstores have this, you know, like, blind date with a book. So I've never been, you know, like, fortunate enough to go to a bookstore where they had, like, the blind date with a book until today. And that shelf was literally as you walk in through the door, and it captured me the moment I walked through. By the way, I'm going to be playing, like, or putting footage of the, like, some of the footage that I took, just to show you, like, pictures or video of the bookshop throughout this video in the background, because it is beautiful. It is simply beautiful. It is such an experience. Anyway, back to blind date with a book. So I was stoked, and it was a great surprise for me to see this. So then I had to get two books, right? So these are the two blind date books that I got, and I must say, I love the clues that are written on the front, you know, as to what book it is. It is, like, written so well. Okay, so this one, the clues says, surrogate mother, troubled marriage, critically ill, and second chance. Those are the clues. Those are the clues, right? So I am literally doing this because I want to unwrap these books, you know, like, on camera. But now I'm also so conflicted, because do I unwrap them now, or do I wait for when I get back home? But I can't wait. I literally can't wait. So I'm gonna unwrap this now. So it says, like, just, yes, okay, there. Cool. So let's see. And it's also wrapped so beautifully. Like, I really, like, it's so sad that I have to unwrap this, but I'm gonna keep the paper and everything. I'm gonna try and unwrap it as beautifully. There we go. Okay. Because another thing, you know, like, as I was buying this, like, paying for the book, one thing I realized, I'm like, what if you end up, like, picking a book that you also already have, you know? Gamble, I suppose, you have to take. So, okay, almost there. Okay, I'm trying to unwrap it so beautifully. Okay, almost there. Let's see. Okay. It is a book titled Good Night Beautiful by Dorothy Coomson. Oh, an intelligent and an emotional read. Good Night Beautiful. I must say that if I saw this cover, it's not the books that I usually gravitate towards. So, the blurb says, Nova would do anything for her closest friend, Mal. So when he asked her to be a surrogate mother for him and his wife, Steph, she agrees despite her fears about what it could do to their lives. 8 years later, Nova and Mal no longer speak. Nova is bringing up Mal's son Leo, while Mal's marriage to Steph continues to fall apart. Now Leo is critically ill in hospital. Nova must decide whether to tell her family the truth about the surrogacy and if she can allow Mal back into her life before it's too late. Ooh! A heartbreaking page-turner about love, loss, and friendship from the Sunday Times best-selling author Dorothy Coobson. Oh my goodness gracious, that sounds insane. That sounds absolutely insane. Now I want to read this one first. Oh wow. Okay. So far it seems like a good pick. And then the next one. Okay, so I've got like rose gold is my favorite color, right? And I don't know if you can see it, but like the paper they wrap this one in is like, it almost like shines rose gold, but might not look that way on camera. Okay, and this one says, broken by grief, losing her faith, coping with tragedy, and living life. Okay, this is what it looks like. Okay, so let's see. Let's see what this could be. I'm actually getting better at the wrapping, the unwrapping. Okay. I must say they have some damn good wrappers at the at this bookstore. Like, I wonder what it must say on your CV, like for you to become an expert wrapper. And I also wonder who writes, you know, like the clues on the front. I wonder. Okay. Ooh. Okay. Wow. Below the Big Blue Sky. Below the Big Blue Sky by Anna McPartlin. The best-selling author of The Last Days of Rabbit Haze. Okay. So the blurb says, how does a family pick up the pieces when the person who held them together has gone? When 40-year-old Rabbit Haze dies, she leaves behind a family broken by grief. Her mother, Molly, is distraught and in danger of losing her faith. Her father, Jack, spends hours poring over his old diaries, losing himself in the past. Rabbit's brother, Davy, finds himself suddenly guardian to a 12-year-old daughter, Juliet. But how can he help her through her grief when he can barely cope with his own? Meanwhile, Rabbit's sister, Grace, is struggling with the knowledge that she carries the gene that made her sister ill, and Rabbit's best friend, Marjorie, is lost, struggling to remain a part of a family she has always wished was her own. But even though the Hayes family are all fighting their own battles, they are drawn together by their love for Rabbit and for each other. Slowly, they each find ways to celebrate and remember her, to find humor and hope in the face of tragedy, and to live life to its fullest as Rabbit would have wanted. Wow! This sounds just as good. Okay, I must say, so far I'm stoked. I am absolutely, completely, 100% stoked with the books that I got, and pleasantly surprised. So, okay, so here all of them are. Yeah, so the Below the Big Blue Sky and Good Night Beautiful, that were the mystery books, the mystery dates. Like, that's honestly the only blind dates I have the energy for nowadays. And then An Orchestra of Minorities and Hold. I am absolutely 100% so excited to be reading these books. I am so excited, like I almost don't know what to do. I really, really, truly am. So here's what I will do. Later there will be a video where I basically review these books. So after I'm done reading them, I will come back and review them, and I will let you guys know what I thought of them. So yay! So for Terrence Bookish Hookie, my first book haul, and like I'm so glad that it could be in Malaysia, you know, like in a bookstore that I've always wanted to go to. So thank you so much for watching, everyone. I will definitely be seeing you back here when I review these books or any of my other videos that I upload. Thank you for coming on the journey with me. I'm really excited, you know, like still getting to know the whole space, you like, and people. So thank you. Please subscribe if you find this channel to your liking, if you'd like to see what I get up to, you know, and come along this learning process, because it really is a learning process for me. And yeah, and check back to see when I do review. I'm not going to put a date on when I review these because I've actually been in a bit of a reading slump. So I hope one of these books can actually get me out of the reading slump. And I'm going to leave it there, and I will see you guys next time on Terrence Bookish Hookie. So see you guys next time, and I hope to be getting back very soon with a review for these guys that I picked up. So just as I was about to start editing the video I shot earlier about my little Malaysia book haul, I realized that there are two other books that I bought a few days ago at a different bookstore, and I'd completely forgotten about them. Let me also just add them because I do think it's relevant, because it is like I bought them in Malaysia. Okay, so the two books I bought a few days ago at a different bookstore called Popular, at one of the malls here, is the first one is actually it is Nelson Mandela and Mandla Langa, Dare Not Linger, the Presidential Years. Right, so this is the book, The Presidential Years, Dare Not Linger. Now, I had never heard of this book before. I read Nelson Mandela's other books, but I did not know that there was like a book written about his presidential years, like a manuscript that he had started, but that he sadly didn't get to finish. And then Mandla Langa finished it, and his wife, Gracia Machel, was part of that, the process of finishing this book. So then the blurb says, forgot to put on my glasses. Okay, but I can still read a little bit without my glasses, at least. So the blurb says, in 1994, Nelson Mandela became the first president of a democratic South Africa. From the outset, he was committed to serving only a single 5-year term. During his presidency, he and his government ensured that all of South Africa's citizens become equal before the law, and he laid the foundation for turning a country riven by centuries of colonialism and apartheid into a fully functioning democracy. Dare Not Linger is the story of Mandela's presidential years, drawing heavily on the memoir he began to write as he prepared to leave office but was unable to finish. Now the acclaimed South African writer Mandla Langa has completed the task using Mandela's unfinished draft, detailed notes that Mandela made as events were unfolding, and a wealth of unseen archival material. With a prologue by Mandela's widow, Gracia Machel, the result is a vivid and often inspirational account of Mandela's presidency and the creation of a new democracy. It tells the story of a country in transition and the challenges Mandela faced as he strove to make his vision for a liberated South Africa a reality. Interesting, right? Like I am so stoked to read this. And actually, just quickly, like a note to the reader that they put here, it actually puts the whole book into perspective. It says that a significant portion of the words in this book are from Nelson Mandela's own writings, encompassing text from his unfinished memoir on his presidential years, as well as personal notes and speeches made in Parliament, at political rallies, or in the international stage in his capacity as a revered advocate for human rights. The unfinished memoir, The Presidential Years, consists of 10 draft chapters, most of which include several versions as well as notes toward further chapters. The sequence of chapter versions is not always clear from the archival evidence. Text for this book has been extracted across chapter versions and note accumulations. In an effort to retain the historical integrity of Mandela's writings, we have made very few editorial interventions to his extracted texts, apart from standardizing quotation marks, italicizing titles of books or newspapers, and occasionally inserting a comma for sense or correcting the rare occurrence of a misspelled name. So essentially, like, what I love is like this, the note to reader that they put, you know, to like make it clear on how this book is written and where the information, the book, that in the book comes from. So yeah, like I said, I didn't know about this book, and I am very excited to actually read this book. Then the other book that I also bought at that same bookstore is titled Life on the Line by Emma Goldberg. Life on the Line by Emma Goldberg. Now, young doctors come of age in a pandemic. Now, on the back of the book, there is no blurb really, and I haven't opened the packaging, like it's wrapped in paper. Sorry, in plastic. But like some of there's like reviews that's printed on the back instead of a blurb, right? So some of the reviews on the back actually says, and it gives like a very good idea of what the book is about. This one from Andrew Solomon, National Book Award winning author of Noonday Demon and Far From the Tree, says, in this poignant, evocative and timely book, Emma Goldberg follows 6 very young doctors as they try to face down the sea crisis. I'm calling it sea crisis because I have heard that we are not like on YouTube now, like your videos get demonetized or something for talking about this terrible time that we went through. So I'm gonna call it the C word. Yeah, so Emma Goldberg follows 6 very young doctors as they try to face down the C word crisis, recognizing that this disease, instead of serving to equalize all people in the face of death, came down unjustly hard on those with disadvantaged backgrounds. In telling their stories, she tells the real story of the pandemic. This is not only excellent reporting and writing, but also an important primary source, one of the books that future readers will turn to understand the strange and nearly incomprehensible time we've been through. Someone else, Robert Kolker, New York Times best-selling author of Hidden Valley Road and Lost Girls, says the following. By the way, side note, I read Hidden Valley Road and it was chosen as one of Oprah's book club picks a few years ago, and it is like a real life story about a family. I think they had 12 children. I might be speaking under correction, but a large family, and most of them who are still alive of the children. It is such a riveting story, and it almost reads like a fiction book. I remember like reading that book and thinking that surely this must be fiction, like I can't believe this is real. Yeah, so definitely I have a lot of respect for this writer. Anyway, but so he says, Emma Goldberg's Life on the Line offers vivid, intimate portraits of brand new doctors on the front lines of the greatest public health crisis of our time. But it's also more than that. A carefully considered meditation on morality in times of crisis and what it really means from every angle to care for others when the world is coming apart. The result is devastating and miraculous, beautifully written and overflowing with hope. So when I saw this book, once again, I didn't know this book existed. I never heard of this book, but like once I saw it, I just knew that I need to have it, because I haven't read any books that, you know, like discusses the topic, whether like fictional or non-fiction, about the old C word crisis that we went through. So for me, this seemed like a really, really good one to get and to read. So yeah, those are the two books I almost forgot to include, because I didn't buy them at the bookstore that I bought the other books at, but bought them in Malaysia nonetheless. So yep, this is the two books I almost forgot about. And in future, when I do a video about the reviews of the books that I bought in Malaysia, these two will be part of it. So stay well, everyone. Until next time. Bye.